Look at the size of this one. Look at the size of that. Look at the size of him. He's absolutely huge. Let's get this gear out of here. Christ almighty. Absolute monster. I don't know how big he is. Try and got to go back soon, this one. Absolute beauty. Absolute beauty. That's one of my biggest pike, that's like. Biggest. 40 inches long. Right, he's got to go back. He's got to go back. Right. What about that then? What about that? Right, different, slightly different sort of boat. Try the old spinner. Professor Lure. Got one dead bait out there, one mackerel just off this tree there. Quite windy, quite deep, but there's a lot of thick weed. There's no boats that were displaying coronavirus. There's no boats that have been banned. Have a little. I'll probably go back on the dead boat after half an hour. Just it's nice just to put it. It's all about it. Take advantage of the conditions. Usually the boats go calm, so quiet, and there's no wind with the calm. This technique, I mean, what sort of pike? Generally pike. I'd like to let it sink a little bit more, but we'll do. Get caught. Pretty quiet at the minute. Very high up in the water retrieving this, which is, you know, there's a good. I've got no other dead baits because I'm sick and tired of buying a pack of dead baits and just sort of sitting here. And you know, and then you're using refrozen fish, which I think is you need fresh personally. That's just how I am. I like to have, you know, I don't like stuff which has been thawed out and then sat about and then refrozen. It's alright for a little bit of twitching dead baits maybe, but for dead baits I like something nice and fresh sort of sitting there. So I've been at this spot before, we were perch fishing here before, but there's not so much wind. So we're just gonna, we're holding bottom nicely just there, and we're holding out there. But I think there's a bit of a deep patch just by this tree here. I don't even see that. There's a bit of a hole just in front of us there, because he couldn't hold bottom there, and that was a good 7 or 8 foot. It was sort of, you know, but it's just a question whether they're there or not. There's nothing much. It's very straightforward pike fishing. Again, fishing is anything. It's about putting the time in, doing the basics, you know, other than just, and then it's just getting your timing right. When they're feeding, if they're there, if someone's beat you to it and caught them and they're buggered off, all these sort of things. Lady luck, is it going to be on our side? That's the thing. Especially on these larger tidal rivers, you know, they're so vast and big, and whether there's any fish there or not. They're very green, very dark, so they've been sort of hiding in it. So I think these areas are quite good, but you know, as long as you're fishing, anything can happen, but I always try not to expect too much and just go to, you know, to be doing something. Yeah, bigger fish, for me personally, have come from renowned big river sort of spots. And I find sometimes a sort of a specialist gravel pit who sort of says they've got quite a lot of fish in there, quite a lot of big fish in there. I find with pike fishing, if you're going to get a few big ones, they're all generally quite big. If they're all small, they're all going to be quite small, and if they're generally the, you know, I mean, 18 years ago, I had 5 pike, and they were all double figure. I caught them in about 4 hours, one after the other. I was just putting the bait out just like this, and within 10 minutes, line was just spinning off the reel. The fish were so big, they were just, the float was gone, and they were moving off with it. You know, the old bait runner was just spinning around. I had 5 fish. They're all double figures. I had one about 10. I had one about 14. I had one about 16. I had one of about 20. And I reckon I had one about 25. And then in 4 hours of fishing on a syndicate gravel pit in October, early October. Can you believe that? And that was, what was the year? That was about 2000, it's about 18 years. Right, so just had my sandwiches. Made a hole in them. Just wanted to talk a bit about line for pike fishing. Now I'm using my multiplier, which I use for surf casting, on my pike rod down there. You notice the line is it's actually £15 Daiwa surf caster's line, bright luminous, so you can see it at night when you're night fishing on the beach. But anyway, I've tied this straight to my pike rig, and no word of a lie, yesterday when I was in the gravel pit I had 3 pike. And they, you know, obviously didn't pay any attention to it. So for any of you guys out there thinking, oh fuck, I got to use this special camouflage line and this is that and the other, there's a lot of stuff on the market is absolute bullshit. Most correct thing you need is the right bait. That's about the only thing I've got, you know, what you do need to get right. But I mean, rods are, it's nice to have a good rod, but a good reel I think is probably the most important thing, having a good reel, strong lines. But you get the odd gust of wind come through now and again, and so we just you know, we've just got these 2 dead baits, that's all we've got. Saying that, I've got a couple of heads down there. Where are they? Here they are, some heads, but I think they're a bit small. But like I say, we've got now it's lady luck on our side. Is it on our side? Is it on our side? We will see. Bon appetit. Possible here. For from my experience, they are generally sort of harder sort of places to fish. But you know, you've got to be, you know what I'm going to say now, don't you? In it to win it. But I've got nothing spoiling this afternoon, so I'm only going to fish it. I've literally only got the dead baits I've got on my rod now, because I don't want to use up too much, and because I know it's quite hard water, you know, it really is sort of a one-hit wonder today. If we get one, we're done it, you know. So we'll see what happens. If I get one, we've still got another rod fishing, so I'm not expecting loads and loads of fish, but you never know, you never know. So I've got this knot where I've joined, attached it to, and it's like I need to snip that off really, and all I've done, I've just slid the float up, and it's probably a good 8 foot or so, but I've casted it out and that's drifted, so you can see how deep it is. But I've probably got about 10 foot on. Yeah, so classic winter's day today. So just weighing up the next move really. We've had these baits out here for half an hour, 45 minutes, and it's just looking down there with my Polaroids and see a lot of weed. I'd hate to think one of my baits is sort of suspended high up in a load of weed or something. You just don't know, that's the problem. I suppose that's why you fish 2 rods, just to sort of make sure that if one's fouled up, the other one's at least fishing properly. A bit higher in the weed or something, but it's a mystery. So, cover a bit of ground. Nothing's grabbed it. Nothing sort of said, I want the mackerel. We are actually fishing a little bit. I cast it from here, I could probably get that yellow one a lot closer to the trees. There's some weed down there. To know, you just never know. If you're not getting them fairly soon, then you're sort of in the wrong spot. That's my sort of, but I do get comfy when I sort of rig up and settle in like this. I sort of think, oh, I could just do with sitting here a bit longer. What to do, what to do, what to do. We're going to give it a bit longer. Look at the sunset, look. Beautiful. No fish though. It's been pants. Otters have eaten them all. Look at the size of this one. Look at the size of that. Look at the size of him. He's absolutely huge. Let's get this gear out of here. Christ almighty. Absolute monster. Well, how big he is. Try and get out of there. Try and get him out of there. So it's about £20, right, 18, £20, something like that. About 40 inches long. Yeah. He's got to go back soon. He's got to go back soon, this one. Absolute beauty. Absolute beauty. One of my biggest pike, God's sake. It's one of my biggest. 40 inches long. Right, he's got to go back. He's got to go back. Right. What about that then? What about that? Wowee. I was just then deciding to go home, and I still got a bait out there. Fuck me. And I went to wind it in to snip it off to go home. He was on there. Didn't even know he was on. He must have just grabbed it, the hook. He was just caught in the corner of the mouth. I didn't think he was as big as that. I thought he was probably about sort of maybe just a double, but I got 40 inches. 40 inches on the tape. Typical me, don't bring any scales because I never think I'm going to catch anything good. And I got him over 40 inches. He was the length of this, so his tail was right in the corner here, so it was nose to there, so he's got to be, that's definitely 20, that's definitely 20 pounds. It could even be a 25, I don't know. That was a decent fish. I've got 44 inches to there. He's sat in there, he's 40, I'd say he's put 43, 44 inches, so he felt like he's possibly a 20, definitely 18, definitely 20, he could even be 25. I've had fish to 25 before, years ago, about 18 years ago. It's sort of a specimen fishery. I've got a wine so I've got it. And wow, sat here, I sat here all day, you know, thinking I wasn't going to get anything at all. It was a hard water here, but wow, it's still here. Monster, absolute monster. Over the moon, over the moon. Rightio, hopefully that came out alright. If it didn't, I'm going to shoot myself, I think. Anyway, take care guys, please subscribe to the channel. Every once in a while, dreams do come true. Absolutely over the moon, absolutely over the moon. And yeah, it sort of makes up for a lot of trips where you do blank, and you do, every once in a while you do get a surprise. And also you're aware that a lot of anglers do keep things to themselves, and it doesn't always get on the internet. But wow, over the moon, over the moon. Thanks guys, see you soon. Yeah, so I just sort of slowly sort of just sorting the gear out. I can tell you about a decent fish because your gear, especially when it's dark, your gear's all tangled and wrapped around the other one, and I've literally made a call to sort of start dismantling the gear and tangled around the rod tip. As the light goes, so I've got this light, this Fenix light, and but even with this light, it's still difficult to sort of. And that's all it was, just like this, just like that. One of them. He must have just. Hello, people. Here we are again, pike fishing, and got a local gravel pit. It's got a lot of fence. Be a few more fish in here. It's a good chance of a double in here. It's not much predation, so got a couple of idiot carp anglers over the road there. They just keep talking and talking and talking. You'd think you'd just give a bit of respect for the other anglers, wouldn't you? It's only a small, it's only a 3 acre pit, and That's like a sort of commentary of a football match over there. That's ridiculous. The voices carry across the lakes. It's just so inconsiderate. But yeah, I'll mention it to the bailiff when he comes round. So it's just a question of when to stick or twist, really. It's do we stay put in here? Probably been here half an hour, 45 minutes, or do we go to another area over there? I'm quite happy. I'm so relaxed. I'm quite happy just to sit here, even if I blank. I'm just. Sometimes this is what you want from fishing. It's just nice and relaxed. But to be brutally honest, if you hadn't had anything within an hour in a swim with pike, dead baiting, then you know they might turn up eventually, but it takes about 2 minutes to move, to pick your gear up and just move next door and just recast, or just move to a different area like over here. So you know, it's just what to do. I've moved the float, I've moved the mackerel from this side to that side. We haven't had anything for it. It's been a good over an hour and a half. So I've just moved it. I've moved it to there. And then the other one, which was a bit further out in the same sort of line, I've moved it right over to these lilies over there. I didn't really know when I was casting. I knew I was going over that side. I didn't realise I was going as far as that, but I'm happy with that. That's a bit shallower there. So it's in between the reeds and the two channels. We're just going to try that for 45 minutes and see if that produces. And I think because of what I've witnessed so far, it points towards a move next door or somewhere. That's what it points towards. So there you go. There you go. That's the hypnosis at the minute. Did I say that properly? Hypnosis? Conclusion? Bon appetit. So it's a funny old gravel pit, this one, because if you look how tight it is to the other side there, the path, so you get anglers sort of walking behind you. So we find ourselves quite tight to the bank, but it's a nice little place there. Water's very clear at the minute. I don't know what to make of that. I don't want to make of that clear water. Personally, for dead baiting, I'd say that's not my preferred. When it's gin clear, like that. However, you still get one. We're in Blackies. Why would you call it Blackies? Yeah. Strange, isn't it? Why would you call the swim Blackies? Right, small little pike, small little pike, small little pike. Who's been pinching the bait, look. Look at that. forecast. So this afternoon's a bit cloudy, it's a bit bright at the minute. So because the sun's this side, the sun light shine is all that side of the lake, so it's dark here, so I'm in the dark water. I like that for some reason. I think it sort of gives the fish a bit of cover. But nothing yet. Nothing yet. But, do we stick or twist? That's the thing. Do I move? Do I move in that area over there? I have got a spinner, but there's a lot of bivvies around. There's not much access in this place, but it's a nice little water here. Nice little water, but you've got to pick your moments. Summertime it can be quite busy, and I generally go up the other end of the lake where it's a bit narrower. I don't get so many people go up there. Had some nice bream from there. Nice bream and tench. In the summertime, this place can be absolutely full of bivvies. You know. And, but yeah, I'm not a bivvy person. I ain't got the time. I think if you can't go fishing in like 12 hours during daylight, you know, especially freshwater fishing, and get what you need, or just get, you know, a fix. Then, you know, I used to do it. I'd done a bit when I was younger, but I mean, you'd stay out all night, and the fish would come during the day anyway. You'd stay out all night, wouldn't get a run, and then that'd be like middle of the afternoon, and you'd get a fish. I mean, I don't think night gives you that much of an advantage with carp fishing at all. It gets you here and saves you up and leaving and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, that's sort of. I like to do other bits of fishing. I like float fishing and feeder fishing. I like general course fishing. Don't get me wrong, I do do a bit of carp at the beginning of the season. But I get more carp on the feeder anyway. Fishing pellets and things like that. Might not be very big, but they're still lovely little fish. Good condition fish. Yeah. No, I like to mix up my fishing, depending on what the season is, what the weather's doing. You know, I like to mix it up. But there's some people stayed out last night, and that was fucking -2 last night in my car. There was all frost on my windshield. I mean, you know, to stay out last night, man, fishing with boilies. I mean, you got to be sort of, you know, I'm sorry to say it, but you got to be silly to what even attempt that. You know, you get yourself you get pneumonia staying out in that. I don't know how he done it, that bloke over there. I come in this morning and these other two guys have turned up later on, but he was there last night. I mean, fuck. Should I go over there and ask him, did he get a run last night? We got this rod here, shorter rod, 10-foot rod. I think I've got 12-pound line on that, and we're fishing a whole smelt. Now, I've got two baits here, Now, realistically, if you hadn't had anything in an hour, you might as well move next door to another swim, if it's available, if there's no one in there or whatever. You can move next door. So it's a bit deeper along there. but you do get hammered with a lot of people who sort of have a natter and stuff. So I generally try and go to a place where it can be a bit quieter. Yeah, there's probably some good swims over there. Sometimes you get carp anglers moving in on it as well. So there's times like this where, you know, we're hoping it's going to be a bit quieter as it's getting a bit colder, a bit winter, and there's less people fishing it and this, that and the other. But we've got a good chance of a double figure fish here, that's for sure, especially on the old dead baits. You know, I've got this policy at the minute. It's like if I blank today, I ain't bothered. I only turned up halfway during the day, so we might have to pay a day ticket, we may not. Probably going to have to pay it. I've got the money in my pocket, but it's there's this rod here, pike rod, Drennan pike rod. It's a new rod. I paid about 140 quid for it. I'm not exactly that happy with it. I took it bass fishing over the summer, and I probably casted it about, I don't know, 30 or 40 times, and the bottom ring, the inside of the ring just popped out, and I can only put that down to sort of a fairly cheap rod ring or whatever. So anyway, I popped it back in, and that's fine just for this, for what it's, the purpose of it's for. But really, a rod should be able to cope with the extremities of, you know, cast and retrieving lures and things like that. So we've got multiplier on there, got £15 line. You know, that is a little bit bright for doing this kind of fishing, but the actual trace is, you know, it's a pike trace, so we'll just see. It should be alright. So I've just left it on there. I sometimes put a sort of a £20 leader tied on, you know, probably about sort of, you know, 6 foot, something like that, if I'm retrieving lures and things like that, but I haven't bothered this time. So